Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatchTicks.com, and a big shout out to Oura, who's shouting out to you. Today, a new email from directly from Oura today. Oura is excited to share that they have hit a thrilling milestone of 1 million Oura rings sold. 1 million! That's so hard to believe. That's so amazing. We're grateful to all of you who've joined us on this journey toward better health. Your support and feedback have been instrumental in getting us here, and we do not take that for granted, which is a good thing because we've got some feedback for them. We recognize we've not always been perfect, and we continue to make strides every day to deliver on our mission. That's a good thing because they haven't been, and they continue not to be, which we'll be talking about. But they're open for feedback to empower everyone to own their inner potential and realize health as a daily practice. And that's one of the key things about this amazing ring. It gives you insight to you. And with that insight, there's potential for continual improvement. Listen to those words carefully. Continual improvement over time. It's going to have an impact in your decision on buying this or not. In a minute, you're going to see this. You're going to see the original, the version 2, Series 2 of the Oura Ring that I've had for a long, long time, and the nightly, daily, continuous data generated from this one in comparison with, upgraded to gold on this one. This is the Series 3 with a lot more bells and whistles in terms of electronics and sensors in here, and the results that it generates and the comparison between the two, but not yet. I want to give you the bottom line recommendation because I know a lot of you aren't going to stick around for the whole thing. So let me tell you what my a synopsis is of this. In a nutshell, there's two versions of the ring out there, the Series 2 and the Series 3. Which one should you buy? The Series 2. You can't buy it, though. It's not sold by the company anymore. They only sell the Series 3. Nonetheless, my recommendation at the end of this video will be hunt it down. Find an older, used Series 2 in working good condition. Use that one until the company gets their act together with all of the features they promised in the Series 3. And only then would I suggest dropping the money in on buying the Series 3, selling your Series 2 on eBay or wherever, and then jump into the Series 3 because, one, you're going to be on a subscription at that point where you're going to have to pay roughly $6 a month for the rest of your life to get the same thing you got on the Series 2 for free, plus new stuff that they're going to be putting out, which is why I say wait until that new stuff is here, because it's not. And two, you'll be able to get all of the data that you have been enjoying on the Series 2 that you've been accumulating integrated with the new data you're going to get in the Series 3. If you don't have the subscription, you're going to be limited to only the last 3 days of data and not anything else past that accumulated on either the Series 3 or the Series 2. Just the last 3 days, that's what they're saying. Check out the membership FAQs of what all this means. This is on the website in their FAQs. I'm going to leave it here for you to freeze frame and read. But what I'm synopsizing for you here is Generation 2, no contract, no monthly subscription, and full access to all of your data from the past as long as you've been wearing the ring. Generation 3, after a 6-month free trial, it kicks in at $6 a month. Otherwise, without the subscription, you lose access to your data past the last 3 days, and you lose access to a bunch of other fun streaming videos and stuff that you're not getting with the Ring 2 either. Okay? Can you use the Oura Ring Generation 3 without a membership? You sure can, but this is what you're going to be missing. So you're most likely, when you get the money you're spending to get the Generation 3, most likely you're going to want to keep that subscription up to be able to see all of your past data. After all, that's why you're collecting it. All right, let's move on a little bit more, and then we're going to jump into the analysis. If you want to see this, just scrabble ahead to where you start to see this, and you'll be able to look at the comparisons. For the rest of you that want background, let's go. I'm sure by now you're familiar with Oura Ring. If you're not, please watch my full video on the Oura Ring 2, Oura Ring Generation 2. Got a great full video with all kinds of analysis of data, not just on the app in the phone, but on the computer too. That stands for both the Generation 2 and 3 as well. I'm not going to repeat all that. We're just going to do spot checking comparisons between them. For the details, check out the review. Link is in the show notes. You'll get a box up here at the very end of the video you can click on and go through that first and come back here and watch this comparison. The differences, the things that you're getting in the Generation 3, well, first of all, is this more memory. So you're going to be able to store a lot more stuff on the thing than you could on the Generation 2. You pretty much have to unload this from the Ring to your phone after about 2, 3, 4 days, somewhere in there. Otherwise, it's not going to store enough data to transfer. With that new amount of storage in the device, you've got access to a bunch of other sensors and the data they can collect. And that's what we're going to go over. Both of them do this sleep monitoring, and you get active tracking, basically, with the Generation 2. Here, you're going to get 24/7 heart rate tracking. That's something very much new. Daytime heart rate, workout heart rate, period prediction, wellness content library. How much of this is there right now? The monitoring here, the heart rate 24/7, your basic heart rate, and the wellness content. All this other stuff is in process and not yet really here. They're working on it. So it's incorporated hardware-wise. It's a software issue. Sensors, you've got 2 times infrared LED heart rate, and here you've got infrared LEDs. Infrared means you can't see them, right? They're like in a spectrum you can't really see. You can point your camera at it because it'll see infrared, and if they're lit up, you'll see them. It's kind of cool. But you don't see them with your naked eye. Let's move over here. In addition to the infrared diodes that are in both, you've got green ones and red ones. The green ones, it says daytime heart rate, but guys, it's freaking me out, man. I put this thing on, and they are right opposite here. So they're right down in this part of the ring, and they go off at night. When you're asleep, and I don't know if you suck your thumb while you're sleeping, but uh-oh. Is that a secret I just let out? Well, let's say your hand is near your face. If you happen to see green alien spaceships landing in your room, if you get flashes every time you move your hand and you think something's wrong with your brain, check it out, because it's probably the green LEDs going off to do some form of recording. It says daytime heart rate, but you know what? I think they're using it for nighttime right now. The red LEDs aren't even active yet. That's coming in 2022. What year is it now? Oh yeah, okay. It's coming in 2022 to do blood oxygen detailed readings. And they're not lit up that I can tell, but when it does, we might see red flashes and green flashes, and it's pretty wild. I can live with it, I guess. It's giving me data, but I really don't like having that lit up at night. I probably could cover my whole ring with a piece of tape if it's that annoying. But it is something to take note of. You don't get that at all with this original one for, the 2 years I've been using it every night and never even notice it's there. This one, I do know I've got it on, and Mrs. Tix makes comments about it too. She sees it as well. In addition to this, you've got body temperature. You've got 2 times NTC body temperature, and here you have advanced NTC. And they're talking about 7 different temperature sensors and stuff like that. And that's really great and cool. And that is what's going to be helpful in period prediction. And they're even mentioning, I saw in some of the literature, that it can tell after conception if you've had conception, because you'll get spikes in temperature. And that may be important to know for family planning. You've got all of that going on. Both of them have this 3-axis accelerometer, and that's valuable in the data that it presents to you and how active you've been during the day. And I'm sure that will be used for your workout heart rate tracking in combination once they get that whole thing set up and running. And you got gyroscopes in both of them. So the big addition is a few more colorful light sensors and a few more thermometers in here to be able to generate all of this. And of course, more memory. They both have basically the same battery life. And you'll see when I turn these on and get them going that I've got them charged at exactly the same time. I'm getting a little bit better battery life out of the older one than the newer one. And that's before the red LEDs are starting to do my blood oxygen reading all night long. So I'm expecting, rightfully so, that we'll probably have better life overall in the older one than we will in the newer one, but you have more memory in here as well. Irregardless, they do last 4 to 7 days. Just charge them at night once every now and then, and you're good to go. The different colors, the prices are basically the same, except remember, this one is no longer available at all on the primary market from the company. They've discontinued it. The only way you can get it is on the secondary market, and that's what I'm advising that you do. You want to skip ahead for that? Okay. I was going to show this at the end, but I'll just jump in here now. I found a place, just Googling on Oura Ring 2, where to buy. Poshmark has a few of them, and of course then you've got eBay, and eBay's just chocked full of them. When you're looking for one of these watches, you get the rings, you get the Generation 3, you can get the sizing kit, you can figure out what you need, you can notify the company, you can pick your color, you can get your size, and you're good to go. When you're doing it on your own for an older one, you're going to save money, but you got to figure your size out, and then you got to buy on your size first, and color second, and capabilities and price third. But for around 100 to 150, I'd say you probably can pick up a Generation 2 Oura Ring right now and get all of the features that it offers without having to have a subscription and access to all of your previous data from the moment you put the thing on. What do you actually get with this new Generation 3? Daytime and workout heart rate is what's new. We do not have heart rate at all, as you'll see in the app. It's the exact same app for both rings. However, one of them, the older one, does not do heart rate at all. Blood oxygen sensing and improved sleep accuracy, not active yet, but it's in the ring. The 7 temperature sensors, as opposed to about 2, I think. You still get body temperature and temperature differential off of a normal every night, and it's accurate enough to tell you. Each time I got my COVID vaccine, I saw a pump up in temperature of about a degree or 2 the next couple of nights. So it will monitor aspects of your health pretty good, but to be able to determine the start of your period, ladies, and stuff like that, which is a temperature component if you have regular temperature changes related to your cycle, that requires really high accuracy. So you're getting higher accuracy here for the period prediction part. And then this in-app guidance and insights, we'll look at that. That's just a tab on the app that lets you play some streaming videos and audios that are canned and don't really change that regularly. And for $5 to $7 a month subscription, about the same price as Disney, and all of the things you get streaming on Disney, I'd think twice about it if you're just getting it for the guidance and insights. Is a little bit there, but it's not having a live fitness channel with people that you're interacting with live doing the workouts with you. I just got this email. This is snippets from it. These are the things that they had promised, and this is the latest update. The period prediction beta is supposed to roll out next month in May, which is right when the subscription thing is about to start costing money. So ladies may be taken care of. Guys, period predicting with a ring on your hand, it ain't going to happen. You may have what you think are periods, but they're different kind of periods. This is strictly for the ladies, and it's dependent upon those temperature sensors being accurate to help predict. Ladies, if you're going to use it for planning, family planning, have another source or two to back it up to let you know whether you are or not, that kind of thing, because this is beta. You're going to be one of the first that's going to have it on. I don't know how accurate it is, and if you're basing your future life on it, think about it. Yeah, Yeah, use a thermometer at least to get a second opinion on your change in temperature. It's designed to work with individuals who have natal temperature patterns in their menstrual cycle, automatically updates the predicted start date of the next period based on the body's temperature shifts, getting smarter over time. So the more you use it, the smarter it'll get, and in order to do that, you definitely would need the Series 3 watch ring with this feature, with the app updated, and let it hone in on your exact results. Now, in terms of the other things, the workout heart rate tracking for cycling and walking, that's coming out supposedly in June of this year. Again, right around the time they're going to start charging for the subscription. More workouts will be added that it'll recognize. It's been an important feature. They're eager to deliver it and with a high quality experience, but it's not here yet. Ensuring workout heart rate works well across a range of the different physical factors, environments, temperatures, activities, has been utmost importance and a big challenge, as I understand. It's not easy. We're happy to report that their science and technology teams are now in the final stages of development and testing. But remember, this was going to be coming out earlier, and it's been delayed. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and so forth. And it'll affect your readiness score as well. And then we get to sleep. Now, sleep is pretty cool on this one. When I show you the data, you're going to be pretty impressed on both rings of what we're getting in terms of sleep analysis. It delivers one of the most comprehensive and accurate data sets, and that is so true. When you look at the computer program analysis of your sleep and all of the factors that are there and how you can compare any multiples of the factors, again, watch the review of the original Series 2 for all of that. It's phenomenal. However, blood oxygen. We've been hard at work developing our blood oxygen sensing feature, understanding variations in your overnight blood oxygen level, a measure of how well your body circulates and absorbs oxygen, and so forth and so forth. They're happy to announce that an update to the blood oxygen sensing will be available this summer. Okay, so we got April, we got June, we got this summer. We may have this component. By the way, a shout out to the company and a way of awareness for you to think about. One of the cool things about monitoring blood oxygen at night is if you have a dip in it, it may be reflective of a sleep apnea event or heavy snoring or something like that. So in addition to giving you a nice little squiggle chart of your blood oxygen, it would be phenomenal if it can show you a dip and highlight that, ding, and say you had 3 potential sleep apnea events last night. Check the chart to see where they happen. That would be cool. What would be even more cool is if it were able to live tether to your app and cause your phone to vibrate or make a sound. I know there's no vibration in the ring, but it would be really cool if it could somehow notify you while you're in the event that you could be woken up and start breathing again, and create a biofeedback process where you might be able to get on top of that happening and extend your life expectancy because you don't have that interrupted breathing at night. We do have other bands and watches that do that very thing, that have the vibration in the device that you're wearing on your wrist. If you're interested in that, check our playlists. I've got a whole playlist on sleep apnea devices. Each and every one of them can do that automatically. This is the first entry into blood oxygen reading for the Ring. It's just a nice place to migrate to as you enhance the capabilities and keep that subscription live and interesting for people to keep it active month after month. And finally, a commitment to deliver the best sleep tracking experience will be launched in an update to the sleep staging algorithm in the autumn of this year. So by later on this year, let's call it Christmas time. If you want to get the Series 3 around Christmas and be able to get your data right now, between now and then, to ensure that an Oura Ring is really what you like, I get back to my original opening. Suggest you try to find a Series 2 on the secondary market. Buy it, set up your subscription, get it going, and look at jumping into Series 3 after all these things you saw here have come to pass. All right, we're about 20 minutes into this, but I wanted to lay the foundation for you so you'd see where we're going in comparing these two different rings together. The same app is on these different phones tied to the associated Generation 3, I sometimes have been calling it Series 3, and Generation 2 rings, the Oura rings. We're going to play with this and show you some comparisons of the data. Oh, and comparisons with some Fitbit sleep data as well as we go along. But first, I wanted to show you this. This is an interesting thing. Both of them do. You see, I had a nap last night, about 6:20 p.m. for 30 minutes. I already got that notice on this one and I hit confirm. I can do the same thing on here and hit confirm, and you see you get exactly the same thing. So both the old one and the new one, I'm just going to refer to them that way, will give you notifications if you have a nap. And when you add it, it also goes into factoring up your information for your overall readiness and sleep scores as well. Now notice here on the older one, today, 9:50 a.m., I had a walk for 20 minutes, and that's true. It was initiated, I just was walking, and it showed up. Look at the new one. It gets exactly the same thing. Now, this is a new feature they just announced, that it will automatically detect and track about 3 different things, walking and running, and I'm not sure what else, and eventually will even be more. So you can confirm that and confirm that. And now you see, hello, it's in here, I presume, confirmed. Here we go, up at the top, added your activity, and you can see the workout details when you get in here. Now this is interesting. The older one, as you can see, has got a little bit more variability. This is just cut right at the top. It's calling it cycling. This one's calling it walking. It was a walk, 9:50 to 10:09. This is from 8:46 to 9:01. I wasn't anywhere near a bike. So I'm getting better accuracy overall in detection of workouts from the original Generation 2 watch. Generation 3 isn't hitting it exactly right. Okay, let's come back over here now and go into a few more things. The naps, just to show you, show details on these. This is the breakdown of awake, light, and deep sleep for a nap. We're going to see a lot of this, and you're going to find that there's kind of a correlation, but not an exact match. We started out with awake, and then we went into light sleep. Here we went into deep sleep, according to this one. It's the same nap, 2 different rings, 2 different hands, right? But the same person taking the same nap, and we're getting some different data out of it. And give you the overall percentages. The original is giving me about 71% deep as opposed to 53%, and so forth and so forth. Neither one of them got me into REM. I didn't dream, I just took a nap. Okay. To show you more detail about the similarities of these, I want to walk through the tabs real quick. Now that we've confirmed all of this data, it shows you typically your readiness, and right now we're seeing a pretty close correlation. I'm saying plus or minus 10%, which means at 90% it should be 99 to 81-ish, right, in that neighborhood. Anyway, they're only 6 points apart. It's not always that way, but last night was pretty good in terms of correlation. Sleep, 78, 88. And then here's a sleep thing. We'll look at those. Your activity goals and the number of steps and activity score is pretty darn close. And this is heart rate. This is what the new one is generating, is a daily heart rate. We're about noon, and here's the last night's sleep, and here's today's computation from the green diodes, I presume, and infrared on the new Generation 3 in heart rate. You don't have that at all on the old one. Then there's your activities. There's the nap. Here's cycling that this one said that I had. There's walking. Okay, so this one didn't pick up cycling, which was true because I didn't have a cycling event going on. And then it recommends your bedtime, 8:15 to 9:45 here, 9:30 to 10:30. You see the blue line? It's connected and downloaded incremental data. So as long as you have them both on, you have the rings on, of course they will be, and the app is open and on Bluetooth connected, it will update regularly. I want to call attention again, you saw this already, the countdown of the battery life. It's not quite at a half. It's been a couple of days since it was last charged. They're just about even now. So right now, battery drain on both of them are pretty much the same. When you hit the readiness tab, you get to this chart up here, and you get these different things. Your resting heart rate, your heart rate variability, your body temperature deviation from an established norm, and your respiratory rate, and then your overall readiness score. Just zen with it, if you know what I mean. Look at the numbers, see how close they seem to be together, and look at this. This is your resting heart rate bouncing up and down here. There's one anomaly going on there where it jumped way up in the older watch, but not in the newer one. As you come down, you get your statistics a little bit more. The resting heart rate, HRV, a synopsis or analysis of optimal. This one is saying body temperature is good. This one's saying it's optimal. So pretty close there. Here's a readiness score and information from that time frame, your lowest heart rate. And now we get to the charts, and this is what really fun. These guys are so darn close. Look at that. Now, they're two different rings on two different fingers. The data is not crossed over. Each of them is collecting this separately, but they're pretty darn close overall. We're getting the same time that we're getting our minimum right there. Our average heart rate variability, here we go, starts out low. This is averaging at 46. This is 51. Okay, and that's over the whole sleep period from 10:25 to 6:15, 6:17. They're almost identical. That's really good. So the sleep activity on both of these devices is very, very correlated. I can go to the sleep tab itself and show you a sleep score. Now it's a 10-point difference. This is good. This is optimal. This is showing me it's 7 hours and 9 minutes. This is a little less. The time in bed is the same, though. So the total sleep time reported by the new ring is higher. Now you're starting to see something emerge in all of this. The newest ring, the Generation 3, is making me out to be healthier, better, and higher scores than the original. But in all honesty, I think this is more accurate for Uncle Ticks. This is always erring on the side of higher, better results than the original Generation 2. It may be more accurate, and it may be true. Your situation may vary. But my personal feeling about it is I'm getting a better reading overall out of the Generation 2. 6 hours and about the same amount of overall time in bed, but this one's telling me I've got a better overall score as a result. Here's how it breaks up into awake, REM, light, and deep. And here's our heart rate stuff on that. And again, the heart rate variability. While we're here on sleep, I want to bring us down to here, and I want to show you the results on the watch, the Fitbit watch. Now, the Fitbit is tied to this phone, so I can't show you this with the new ring, but we've got the old ring here, and this was last night's sleep information, so I'm going to bring it up, and we can compare. We've got awake, REM, light and deep, and fortunately, I think it's the same thing here. Awake is the top, REM is in that middle section, light is there, and the deep blue is the low blue is the deep. So check it out. This is giving me a little bit more deep sleep early on. There's a couple of incidents of it in both of them. In a sense, it's tracking fairly close. These are awake times throughout the night. I think the brighter ones mean I really was awake, like I got out of bed and went to the bathroom or got a drink of water or something, and it has some soft red ones in there as well, a little bit more fine detail in the watch. Now, this watch and this ring were on the same hand, so these should be very correlated if there happened to be a difference between wrists. I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Overall, we're getting hour and a half, hour and 2 minutes, about an hour, 4.5, 5 hours, and 42 minutes of deep sleep versus an hour and a half. You be the judge. I don't know. There you go. It's different but similar. When we get down here, we've got blood oxygen variation. That's already in the watch because it's got the red and green diodes down there. Oh dear, it's trying to jump into another program. This, of course, doesn't have blood oxygen ever, and the new ring will eventually have blood oxygen, but not yet. So this is something I can't really talk to at this point because we're doing a review on the rings themselves. But that's available here. There is snore information, noise information, and we do have some of that information available on yet another form of analysis, which is a sleep map from Withings. I did a review of that. I sleep with that every night too. So not only do we have sleep data from these three things, check this out. This is the sleep chart analysis from the Withings mat last night, same night as here, and here's a bar chart representing the same kind of things for awake, REM, light, and deep, and it's giving me the REM as these big white bars. Here, that's the awake. So the mat's reporting I was in a lot more dream space, which I find pretty much true. Did have very active dreams last night, although this one is showing it as well in the little lower level where this is showing light sleep. And deep sleep, that's here in the early part of the evening, which is the same here. This is picking up some a little later. This one's not. But the philosophy of the night is very similar in how things unfolded, giving me a sleep score of 97, duration of 7 hours and 45 minutes, depth and regularity. There's the heart rate information on here, and when you get down in here, you've got breathing and snoring information. Now that's because the mat has a microphone and it can pick all that stuff up. We do have, however, with the rings, movement, which could be activity in bed. Now, I'm not seeing a direct correlation between snoring and movement, and you really wouldn't expect that. In fact, maybe you'd be really still if you're in a deep snoring situation in bed till your wife kicks you, and then you move. So there may be a correlation on that. But we do have a snoring component and a movement component as well. Now, let me get back to this ring data here. And let's take a look at that movement issue down here. You see that right when I went to bed, there was a lot of movement. This is showing different movement throughout the night, and I don't really see a direct correlation. We're not getting, to the minute kind of data, nor telling us what kind of movement it was. Looks like there's 3 levels, none, slight movement, a little more movement, and then big movement. 4 different levels, and I don't know. We are getting different reports. They're on 2 different hands. There's a possibility the hands and arms could be moving differently. One might be still on the bed. The other one might be going up and down with my breathing. I don't know. But there you go. We've got movement information as well when we're in the sleep tab on these. And these charts are reproduced from what we saw in the readiness charts and there. And so that's that stuff. Now, activity is when we got different activity through the day, and then we have one more tab on the new ring, which is Explore. So let's switch over to activity. Quick look at the summary here from yesterday. We had a goal of 250, which was 550 calories reported by this ring, a little bit more by this ring. The walking distance, the total number of steps, they were both on at exactly the same times. They weren't taken off to charge or anything, so they should be identical in a real world, but they're not. So we've got a few more steps on the older series or generation 2 than we do on the new one. Let's see how that holds up over time in just a minute, or on different days by the rings. Okay, your activity contributions. Looks like they're very similar. Your daily movement, Oh, this is today. Sorry, folks. This is today. You're right. This isn't yesterday. This is reporting today. That's okay. This same thing, I didn't take them off until just now. So I should have exactly the same movement at the same time. High, medium, low. The workouts. This has got the walking. This picked up cycling. It was walking. We talked about that already. So you've got that. Let me move back one day to yesterday and show you here what we've got in comparison, and these numbers, and our totals, including the total steps. More steps here than here. One more day. More steps here than here. Goal, and so forth. This is giving me a higher activity score than this one is. And we've got a few little different things here. And the breakdown is similar during the time frame that they're both moving, the times they weren't. This might have been a day that I charged it, because you see the blank was right there. So that I took it off and charged it April 5th, a couple of days ago. And then here's the breakdown of this. So all in all, activity-wise, I think we're getting more steps recorded with the older one than with the newer one. The ideal would be to be able to pull up the steps actually from another trusted device and see which one is right. So now I'd like to ask you, what have you seen different between the two that's worthy of a $6 subscription for this watch that you don't have to pay for this one? Not much, right? The only thing was way back here at the home when we went down and got heart rate, actual heart rate, which you don't have reported here. It goes right to activities. In terms of readiness, you're not looking really at a daytime kind of heart rate computed on that home screen. You do get the nighttime heart rate chart. That's there. You have the heart rate variability with both devices. That's there. So honestly, so far, the only thing different has been this recorded chart of daytime heart rate. Now, granted, they don't have yet a lot of the stuff that they've talked about coming out. We've already mentioned that. When it's added and the apps are updated, those features will show up only on here and not on here. But so far, both of them have been updated to detect naps and to detect your activities and automatically start and record them, albeit in my limited testing, the older watch is more accurate than the newer one is in detecting those activities. But we do have this Explore tab. Let's hop over here. This is brand new for those of you who are getting the Generation 3 and the free subscription, and will be there if you continue your subscription. If you cancel your subscription, you'll lose all of this. So what have you got? Is it the Avengers? Have you got all the Disney movies? Have you got the Star Trek stuff as well? Or do you just have a few canned 10-minute, 8-minute little audio and video presentations? You've got meditation. You can go over here and look at the entire list that you've got. Now, remind you, this is almost 6 months this subscription has been up. And I don't think you'd have to do much counting on more than 2 hands to tell how many of these are in here. You have all of them shown here. Focus, relax, those things are separated. But you really only have a dozen or so in meditation. Overall breathing, again, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. That's great for breath training. Here's learning. And again, now we go into here for everything. And these are little 1-minute descriptors to explain to you about how your ring works. And that should probably already be on the website. And you won't lose that if you lose your subscription. So this is the whole Explore tab. And I'm a little at loss for what exactly you're getting that complements and enhances a $6 a month subscription. All of these are the same tabs of the things that we just scrolled through. And as far as I can tell, there's a speaker on these, so those are all audio. These little 1-minute things are videos, and beyond that, there's absolutely nothing else different between the two apps. So, begs the question, what about this subscription thing? And I want to bring this over for you because in the Reddit thread, you guys are familiar with Reddit, right? If you go into reddit.com and you look for Oura Ring, you'll find a whole Oura Ring section, and in that r/Oura Ring, it's a community of 18,000 members, all of which are talking about the Oura Ring, its goods, its bads, and things. There is a thread on delayed features trial extension, ? Where some users are asking, hey, I'm a month away from having to start pay for my subscription after buying the Generation 3. Just saying, all of these things are being delayed until way later. Wouldn't it be nice if they extend the trial at least? Not make you start paying for it right away, because that's all you're getting for $6 a month, along with your daytime heart rate, which you can get by putting on just about any watch and looking at that app if you need the daytime heart rate. So follow this thread. It's kind of disappointing. There's no response from the company of extending the trial. They may surprise us when it actually starts to come due 6 months after the first one started shipping. But so far, at this point, you're basically going to be paying for the subscription to gain access to your heart rate. And most importantly, you notice up here, and I'm just about to go into this with you guys for everything else. We're on the Home tab. You notice up here that you've got all these days across the top that you can scroll back through until you were born. If you started wearing the ring when you were born, it goes on and on and on. Another thing the subscription does is it unlocks everything that you've archived so far. Otherwise, without the subscription, you're limited to today, yesterday, and the day before. The 3 days, okay? Today, yesterday, and the day before. Beyond that, you won't see the information. You won't be able to draw these comparisons. So another big reason you're going to need to have the subscription active is you'll have access to your older stuff. Now, they say you don't lose it, but it's locked. So if you terminate your subscription and a year from now, but you're wearing it every day, a year from now you activate it, theoretically, all of that, as long as you've been transferring it to the app and you're seeing all 3 days constantly, and then they disappear, all of that will be unlocked and you'll have access to it when you renew your subscription. But for now, that's going to be limited and unavailable to you once your 6 months free is up if you don't renew your subscription on a monthly basis. Lastly, let's run through this now kind of from a global perspective to take a look at these numbers. We're going to look at our readiness numbers first. I'm going to come to the same day and just start with yesterday. Series 3, Series 2, 9180. Get a feel for these. Higher, lower. 6376. Something happened on this ring that day, and this is much lower than this one. 9488. 93, 85, 81, 84. This time this one's a little higher. 74, 71. Now I can tell you the little secret. Back about a week before this, and we'll get through there, I swapped them around, and I wore them on different hands. Same app, but different hands, just in case the ring finger hand is giving me better results with stronger pulse or something. That happens on Sunday in the early part of March, so keep looking at these numbers. 84, 80. And now, 75, 74. This week, they were reversed. And I'm still seeing this as a higher number consistently, even though it was on the right hand. So statistically, if we ran all these numbers and averaged them, Series 2 gives lower overall optimal readiness sleep and activity results than the newer Generation 3. Which one's accurate? I don't know yet. But my gut feel is I'm closer to real numbers of my health with the Generation 2. But that's just a gut feel. Now, beyond the surface level of comparisons, remember each one of these has these different values, and each one of these can produce separate charts that you can check out. This is our resting heart rate. They're both doing heart rate, gang. Just because this one has more sensors in it can do daytime heart rate, it's claiming, as opposed to the nighttime analysis. These guys are both giving us information, and if you're not wearing it, it's not giving you information during those time frames. So you've got that. You also have the thermometers giving you your body temperature charts. There's comparisons between those. It assumes a norm, but it doesn't measure it. You have to take that measurement yourself to find what your average is, and then this will show you the deviation from that. It's this computation and the advanced technology in the new ring. I've got them back on. I felt naked. I really did. It's that advanced technology that's going to be able to do period predicting and other things that the Generation 3 will have the sensitivity for that they're claiming the Generation 2 doesn't. And I got to say this, in this one time, I wish I was female so that, or I could convince Mrs. Tix to grow her fingers to be as large as mine are, because I would love to be able to compare the two together going through about 3 or 4 months of cycles, but men just don't have that, so I can't produce that for you. But you do see that you have days of up and down of about a degree or more, and sometimes as much as 4 or 5 degrees, and all of that is shown here as well in body temperature. You've got heart rate variability now, and there's a whole lot of stuff you can go into based on that. I seem to see higher changes in the Generation 2 than in the Generation 3, but I don't know, there's a big peak there. Let's get up to the current time. Here we go. Yeah, they're correlating fairly well. That's a little bit bigger peak. Notice these are days of the week we're going across here. So, yeah. But there is a correlation. And then there's your respiratory rate, your breathing rate when you're sleeping, and this is where it's going. The average here is 15.6, 15.5. So I'm bouncing around a nice average, but the older one seems to have higher and lower. A little bit more bounce to it, perhaps, than the Generation 3. Although that's really hard to tell. Yeah, this would all have to be put into a statistical program and get variability and bell curves and standard deviations and whatnot. I think we're cutting it on a too fine of a level. In general, they're relatively close. I'm not seeing a crazy respiratory rate of 40 at night when I'm sleeping. They're down around 13, 14, 15. So you're in a zone, anyway, that is reasonable for both rings. And all of that data is available on both of the rings on this program with the subscription for all of the days in the past. Without the subscription, you'll only see 3 of these, the most recent 3 of these, and all of the data related to that. At least that's what I'm assuming. I will never be able to tell you because I will never lose the subscription, because this is one of those that I got grandfathered in when they allowed the people that owned this one to upgrade in a window. I was able to lock it in for lifetime subscription on this one. Those of you new getting ready to buy, if you buy one now, there is no way of getting a lifetime subscription. In fact, there's no way to pay a year in advance. You have to set it up to pay monthly. That's the way it's running right now. Okay, I think we're done. For those of you who just don't have the time to listen to Mr. Tix pontificate all day about rings, I've developed this summary. I'm going to start using this with a lot of videos, so you can just scrabble up here to the summary if you want to hear the bottom line. Bottom line on this one, Oura, the company behind this amazing ring, have a winner of a product. There's nothing like it on the market, and the new generation promises to be something really, really special. And that's the big bottom line takeaway. It's a promise. It's not here yet. The Generation 2, which is this one, is not available anymore from the company. They have exclusively moved into selling just the Generation 3 at the same $300 price, mind you, as the Generation 2, with a lot more sensors on it and possibilities for collecting data. However, at this point in time, as you've seen looking at the apps tethered to the rings, the data collection is basically the same with just a minor enhancement from this ring here. This ring, the new one, is going to be by subscription. It's a new business model for the company to generate revenue to continue improving their product, and I applaud them for that. However, I do have some reservations on the fact that right now you're not getting a lot of extra for the price you're going to be paying. Perhaps in the future you will, but for right now, if you could get your hands on a Generation 2 with unlimited data collection and review on your part, I'd recommend doing that. You have to do it on the secondary market, and of course you'll probably be able to pay a lot less than $300 for it. But if you shop around, first for your size, then for the color if you're particular, and then for the price, you might be able to get a winning ring that you can register, connect it to you in your account and your finger, and start collecting endless data as you've seen here. If you've already got the Generation 3, well, you're probably coming up on the end of your 6-month free subscription, and you're going to start paying $6 a month every month. No annual subscription option available, no lifetime subscription option available. But if you're willing to pay that premium, you can have all of your data and a few extra goodies in their Explore tab that are given to you so you can use this ring and do some meditation and breathing exercises and such. If you don't continue your subscription, you're going to lose all of your data. It's going to be locked up except for the last 3 days, today, yesterday, and the day before. Now, I have a real problem with that. I don't mind them selling me a device that I can use to acquire my information, my signals, and give me an app that can translate those signals into meaningful information. I do have a problem with them holding hostage my own personal data that I have to pay a regular monthly fee to be able to access. Kind of like going to the drugstore and buying a thermometer, and they tell you, you get 3 readings. After that, you got to pay $1 a month to see your old readings. Not quite comfortable with that. I'd rather see them have a business model where they give you free data in your app, all the stuff that you are used to seeing day after day after day. But if you want some deeper analysis of that data, you could go to the computer program process and pay a fee there to stratify, cut, assimilate, and study your data. And maybe even pay a premium for a personalized report that gives you outcomes that you could consider for improving your own health. Another whole direction to go than charging everyone a monthly fee to see your own data and a few little exercises and things that you can use for working out. Bottom line then, get yourself a Generation 2 right now if you can. If you're interested in the Oura Ring, it'll be cheaper, you get unlimited data, and you can decide for yourself if it's something you want. If you really love it, when all of the features that are promised by this ring come out, probably by Christmas of 2022, recommend then you upgrade and get yourself from the company a brand new Generation 3. Sell your Generation 2 on the secondary market and help other people out that could pick this up to test it out. Move first into unlimited data, see if it works for you. If you love it, upgrade to the subscription, because when you buy this ring, you're going to be locked in pretty much to a regular monthly subscription if you want access to all of your data. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate a thumbs up on the videos. That helps keep me motivated, and it helps keep this channel going. And we'll see you again soon. Be sure to check the show notes. I'll have lots of things in there, too. Links to stuff we've talked about. All right. We'll see you again soon.